Arkham Asylum was released to the public over 15 years ago on the 25th of August 2009. Published by Rocksteady Studios alongside Warner Bros. Interactive, it became the blueprint for the superhero genre to be introduced to a then more modern gaming industry. I think anyone who grew up around the time this game first released can agree that Arkham Asylum was by far the best release of 1, the year, and 2, superhero games in general. To this day, Batman Arkham Asylum is still my favourite superhero game of all time. For today, we are going to be revisiting the iconic first chapter to the Arkham series and reminisce on what made this game as memorable and widely adored as it has become. Batman Arkham Asylum starts you out with the Batmobile racing through the streets of a rainy night in good old Gotham City. From the first 5 seconds of this introduction, you can gauge the dark, gritty and gothic atmosphere of this fictional city, with the Batman logo shining brightly in the sky, panning out from a staple to the Batman ethos. The Batman is on his way to Arkham Asylum after apprehending the Joker. Once we arrive within the asylum, we are introduced to the Warden, Quincy Sharp, and the sheer amount of guards placed on post to assist in the Joker's transport. This really shows how dangerous the Joker is, as the whole time he is being delivered to the underbelly of this facility, he is surrounded by prison guards, as well as a personal escort from the Bat himself. Side note, Mark Hamill is really putting his talents on display here with the constant one-sided banter between him and basically anyone who enters his gaze.
Not so tight, boys, you'll crease the suit.
He is clearly familiar with these people, especially Officer Bowles.
Yo, Frankie, how's the wife and kids? You miss me? Shut it, clown!
Batman exclaims that something is not right due to how easy it seemed to be to capture the Joker in the first place, and we follow this escort into the intensive treatment wing. As we reach the elevator, we are introduced to Killer Croc, who is being transported from the area we are heading. The intercom even states how dangerous this individual is, with the shoot-to-kill permission granted authorization. Yet he is escorted by less guards than a mere man, the Joker. Once we are within the elevator, the Joker taunts Batman with the idea of how coincidental it seems that a fire broke out within Blackgate Penitentiary, forcing all the inmates from there to be transferred to the Arkham Asylum grounds, including all of Joker's goons. Even the Batman questions why the Joker was so easy to catch and asks him what he is really after.
Think it's a little bit funny how a fire at Blackgate caused hundreds of my crew to be moved here?
Reaching the holding cells, we meet with Detective Jim Gordon. There is a clear mutual respect between Batman and Jim, and even some friendly banter, which is uncommon for the Bat to have with anyone, showing the relationship these two have built over the years of cleaning up Gotham City. Somebody is watching through the cameras, but we cannot see who it is yet. Once we reach the end of the holding cells, Batman is not allowed in. His presence within the cell block will rile up the inmates and the patients within the facility, so it is best that he stays behind. Batman is already pretty damn sure something is up here, but the gate is reactivated, putting the Joker out of his hands. The second this happens, the Joker manages to break free and kill the 2 guards escorting him to his cell, all while the Batman can only watch. Joking and laughing as he goes, the Joker exclaims, "Honey, I'm home," to the mysterious figure from earlier, and in response, she opens up the gate for him to waltz on through. By the time Batman is able to break through the window, he has already reactivated the gate, trapping Batman in the room, whilst freeing the inmates currently held there. This is our first instance of the beautifully crafted combat system in this game. The free flow combat system allows you to juggle through targets at a moment's notice. Yes, this is the most basic version of this system in the game series, but Rocksteady pretty much got it perfect first try. My only issue with the combat system personally in Asylum is the fact that you cannot cancel an attack to counter strikes from other enemies, but this just made me think harder about my plan of attack, and it made me be a lot more cautious as well about how I approached any combat encounter, which is brilliant in a game such as this. Once we have cleared this room, with ease by the way, the Joker opens up the gate to allow us to come try to find him, obviously taunting us.
Why didn't you just come find me?
Along the way, we run into a guard who has been captured by the one and only Victor Zsasz, a maniacal man who's clearly one of the more unhinged residents of the asylum. This encounter introduces the advanced movement mechanics as the Batman must grapple to vantage points and glide behind Zsasz to prevent him from killing the guard. After we do this, we are introduced to Harley Quinn, who has been the woman behind the Joker's initial escape. Bit of light backstory that we won't go too much into, as I'm sure almost everyone watching this video knows what I'm about to say, but Dr. Harlan Quinzel was the Joker's therapist during one of his previous stays at the asylum, and he managed to seduce her and get her to do his bidding. Anyways, I'm sure you all know this, so moving forward. She has the warden, giving the Joker full control of the asylum. Once we finally catch up with the Crown Prince of Madness, he is perched atop of a hanging cell in which he releases some sort of 9-foot tall beast. Our only way to fight this abomination is to dodge out of its way as it charges towards us. Luckily, the formula used to create this Titan is so unstable that the beast has a heart attack and falls to the floor. The Joker sees this as just a setback and laughs about the man's death. After the fact, due to Batman's no-kill rule, the Joker stands on the edge of the hanging platform and offers him a free shot, knowing the Batman would never take it. This basically forces the Bat to let him get away. Remember Officer Bowles from earlier? Yeah, so they clearly have more history than expected. He's a dirty cop and he works for the Joker. Officer Bowles proceeds to knock out Jim Gordon and capture him for the Joker. The Joker shows this to the Batman to allow himself more time to get his plans ahead into motion, basically forcing the Batman to go back the way he came. Turns out that Oracle, the woman that has been in our ear guiding and assisting us through this facility, is Jim Gordon's daughter, with Batman promising to get him back safe to her. We managed to pick up on Officer Bowles' trail due to his sloppiness and Batman's forensic know-how.
Bowles dropped his flask. Sloppy. Let's see what the forensic scanner picks up. I can follow traces of alcohol from Frank's bourbon in the atmosphere.
We use his alcohol flask to track him towards the elevator we came down in originally from the surface, but yeah, again, Harley Quinn is there to slow us down, blowing up the elevator that gets us to the surface. Luckily, we are Batman, so climbing up the shaft with our grapple gun is quite easy and takes probably 30 seconds less than the elevator would anyways. Once we reach the top, we are met with even more of the Joker's goons to be a slight inconvenience to the Bat. This is until we go through the door and scan some heavily armed guards guarding the path ahead. Facing these men head on would be sure death, so we must use Batman's ability to hide in the shadows and take to the rafters to get behind them and pick them off one by one, leading us into an open room full of armed goons and our first Predator section.
Yeah, he's a dead man walking.
In these Predator sections, Batman must take a stealth approach and take down enemies one by one. This part is sheer brilliance and really makes you feel like you're the Dark Knight, hiding in the shadows, swinging from vantage points and waiting for the right time to strike. You really feel like a predator hunting their prey. Of course, once you clear the room, the Joker sends in a group of new men and lets them know you're there because he's a dick. After clearing the room, yet again, dick, you progress to the main door where you find none other than Officer Bowles trapped to a gurney and he's dead. The Joker considered him a loose end after finding out that the Bat was tracking him, but I guess that's what happens when you're in bed with a deranged man with not a care for his own well-being, never mind anyone else's. Thankfully, there's a guard there that was hiding from the onslaught that opens the door for us, allowing you to traverse to the outside areas and take in the beauty of this game and the hard task of bringing sanity to the chaos ahead. For reference, this is the first hour of the game. They've already set up a brilliant story, amazing game mechanics and complex characters. This will always be the best Batman game in my opinion and hits the perfect balance between the comic style and a more gritty, realistic Batman universe, well before that was cool. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on about this. This video has been more of a learning curve for me to figure out how to make a well-structured YouTube video, as to be honest, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I'm new to this. So I appreciate any comments, criticisms or praise you send my way. Thank you again so much for watching, and if you wish to see me play more long forms of games, head over to my Twitch, ttv/Outlandiiish, where I will stream around 6 days a week. Thank you again so much for having the patience to sit and listen to me talk.